I would like to introduce Rich Negrin. He is the city's managing director and deputy mayor that oversees a lot of the programs that you saw in that video. And Rich, can you come on stage? And Rich is going to speak to us a little bit. Really, it's the State of the Union, the City State of the Union, the new imperatives.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought I was going to have theme music of some kind. We've been hearing the great music all morning, so it's been keeping us going. You know, we can talk about a vision for innovation, a vision for citizen engagement, but none of that works without great drivers for that vision. So let's give it up for Rosetta Liu one more time. Thank you so much. And, you know, I want to apologize to all of you. I know it was disconcerting to me when I came in, but no one should ever have to look at a 20-foot version of me. So I'm incredibly sorry for that. The first time I saw that yesterday, I said two things. Who approved that, number one? And number two, boy, am I glad my kids aren't going to see that because I would never hear the end of it. So thank you so much for embarrassing me. May all of you have a point in your career where you are that large. So, you know, one of the things I want to, before I talk about my comments, which are really brief, because today is really not about me, it's about Rosetta and these great partnerships and obviously the mayor that we're going to hear from in a little while. But I wanted to take just a short moment before I began and really recognize all of our public servants. I'd like everybody who works for the city to stand up right now. Just please stand up no matter where you are in your seats. Let's recognize our great public servants. We have a great team. None of this is possible without all of them. Events like this and partnerships like this don't happen without extraordinary people leading the way. And I want to thank Salesforce and especially Tomas for everything that you've done to get us to where we are today. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes talking about the vision for today and kind of why we're here. And then I'm going to talk about something that I call, that I think is unique to Philadelphia, called the freedom to innovate. We care a lot about our freedoms in Philadelphia, and I believe the freedom to innovate. I'm declaring a new right. How do you like that? Here in Philadelphia, that the freedom to innovate is one of those rights. Since the beginning of our city's history, Philadelphia has been at the forefront of innovation. Innovation that has been fueled by our essential freedoms: the freedom to assemble, the freedom of opportunity, to conduct commerce and enterprise, to solve problems and pursue happiness. Implicit in those freedoms, I believe, is the freedom to innovate. As Rosetta said, we are widely known as a city of firsts. Whether it's William Penn in the public square or the long list of Benjamin Franklin's achievements, Philadelphia has long been a hub of innovation. And as we all know, it was here that our founding fathers innovated a country. But we also know that innovation doesn't always need to be so revolutionary. It can also be about using practical solutions to solve everyday problems. Nor does innovation always have to be about science and technology. It can also be about nuts and bolts, simple solutions. So here's one great example of a Philadelphia innovation that you might not know about. In the year 1790, the first U.S. patent ever filed was filed right here in Philadelphia by a man named Samuel Hopkins. It was for the making of something called potash by a new apparatus and process. Potash had many practical applications. It was used as soap, glass, gunpowder, and fertilizer. It doesn't get much more practical than fertilizer. The patent was signed by Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson and President of the United States, George Washington. You can see his signature on the bottom. Today, 225 years later, I am proud to say that Philadelphia has been the source of more than 14,000 patents. 14,000. We are truly a city of innovators. And I believe the spirit of Mr. Hopkins is alive and well in Philadelphia today. As a community, we have made great progress in recent years. In 2007, when our administration began, we had a great deal of work to accomplish. Many of the innovations that we share and sometimes take for granted today were still ahead of us. You're going to hear from one of those innovations in a few minutes. It's Adele Abid, because in 2007, we had no chief innovation officer like Adele driving our city innovation strategy. We had no chief customer service officer like Rosetta, no open data officer like Tim Wisniewski, no 311, no award-winning mobile apps, no Philly Rising changing our neighborhoods, no social media presence connecting with citizens in new ways, certainly no innovation lab on top of MSB, no center of excellence modernizing project management and performance management across the city. Today, I am proud to say all of that has changed. As the first administration of the digital age, we have embraced innovation and our unique place in the innovation ecosystem. Today, we have new positions leading new efforts to improve city government and to attempt to provide first-class service to our citizens. We do not innovate for innovation's sake. As Adele says, we innovate with intent. Our intent is to create a culture of continuous improvement inside of government and to empower and engage our citizens outside of government. And we know that we can't do it alone. We need great partnerships to succeed. You are seeing an example of that today, a partnership with a great global company, Salesforce, and certainly a great local company, Unisys. You will hear more about that partnership and why we're here a little later from the mayor. This is just one example of the types of relationships that we aspire to, the type that create efficiencies and an interconnectedness with our citizens, the type that can evolve with us as we reimagine the citizen relationship. Yes, we will put technology in the hands of our employees, but we won't just create and wait. We will take technology to our citizens as well. We will work to give voice to the voiceless, to connect those who feel disconnected, to empower those who feel powerless, to better serve those who may feel underserved. That is the power of technology. We know that today's leaders must prioritize and lift up the entire community. They must not be afraid to connect and join the conversation, even when that conversation is in 140 characters. Today's leaders are smart enough to know they don't have all the answers. They know that the smartest person in the room is the room. They know the best solution for the neighborhood usually comes from that neighborhood. They know that public service is customer service. That is how we redefine the citizen relationship. Citizen as customer. Our mayor has made it clear, in Philadelphia, we have no throwaway citizens. No throwaway citizens. That is an awesome responsibility, to value every person, to strive to hear every voice, to empower the quiet heroes in our neighborhoods, to build allies in our fight to improve quality of life, to provide the tools to connect with the city and with each other, to connect with those who are like-minded, who also want to make their neighborhood a better place. That is the vision, a vision that can not only be embraced, but it can be built upon, that can evolve far beyond anything that we can imagine today. That is why we are here, not just to talk about where we are and where we're going, but so that we might light a spark in all of you, in your mind, so that we can learn from each other and move forward together. With government playing its role, sometimes as a convener, that's what we're doing today, sometimes as a facilitator, and yes, sometimes we just need to get out of your way. If we are truly going to be successful, it will take government and all stakeholders working together, because when Philly innovates best, it innovates together. If we are going to continue to rise above the long-term challenges that plague our city, an education crisis, gut-wrenching poverty, and quality of life, we need creative solutions and the will to accomplish great things together. In closing, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Today, thanks to many of you, there are great things happening across all sectors. In our big companies, in our colleges, in our hospitals, the energy sector, on Nerd Street, Indy Hall, Philly startup leaders, Dream It Ventures, and many, many more. We are not only re-innovating government, we are reimagining the relationship between all of our stakeholders. This is the innovation ecosystem everyone is talking about. They are talking about all of us. This room is what an innovation ecosystem looks like. We know all our institutions should be great headquarters of imagination. And it's up to you to do your part. Let today be just the beginning of the conversation. Together, we can make sure that that freedom to innovate is alive and well and freely exercised every single day in Philadelphia. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great summit.